a very matter-of-fact person. I don't know if that comes across
Yeah,
in the
for sure. I'm
podcast.
the same
But
way.
I'm a very like matter-of-fact person, right?
Mhm.
One, I don't like unsolicited advice. If I want your advice, I'm gonna say, hey Marcus, let me get your advice. Otherwise, keep your thoughts to yourself. Thank you. Thank you. So
So even in
if
your
we're having
friendships, you don't like
even in
us.
my friendship,
Okay.
so if we having a conversation and you start giving me your opinion, I'm gonna say, did I ask you your opinion? If you're offended by something like that, you can't be my friend because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't ask you your opinion.
You may want to take notes and write this down.
I like that.
I like that too. That was kind of fire.
That's fire.
And welcome back to another episode of Write This Down. This is a weekly, or I should say bi-weekly podcast where myself and Angela unpack the world around us, one hot take at a time. We talk about everything from trending topics, fashion, music, food, everything lifestyle, health. So you might want to take notes, jot, or write this down. This episode is going to be about friendship through the ages. Friendships come, they leave, you form new ones. So we'll unpack all of that this episode with friendships. Friends, how many of us have them? Shout out to Don.
Friends.
Yeah. So before we dive into the episode, I got to tell you guys what I hate this week, what's annoying me this week. We talk about this at the beginning of every episode going forward about what I hate. And this week, I am going to say, there's so many things I hate. There's so many things that I hate. This week,
Not me preemptively laughing.
This one is something I hate. When you're in a grocery store and the line clearly says express lane, 10 items or less. Lady, why are you coming up here with 27 items in your basket? Why is your cart full? And then the cashier afraid to say something to you. I'm gonna let you know, look, this is the express lane, ma'am. You might want to go over there. What you doing? You holding up everybody else's time. This is express for a reason. Why do people do stuff like that? Is reading not fundamental? Like, reading is fundamental.
It's a literacy crisis. In the country. I got into an argument in the grocery store for that very thing with a lady. Because I counted her cart. She had 20 items. She said, she had 4 oranges, talking about that count as one item. I said, no, that count as 4. Get your line.
Oh, she had 4 oranges. That's the only thing that took her over is 4 oranges?
No, she had more than.
I was about to say, Andrew, you were being petty.
But she was trying to, she had a bunch of bags of vegetables and stuff.
Oh, okay.
She's like, oh, it's just this counts as one item. I'm like, no, those are individual items. If you no, get your ass out of this line. Trying to get up out of here.
Yeah,
somewhere to go.
Yeah,
I'm a perpetual rule follower though, so don't mind me.
But y'all messing up the balance. It's expressed for a reason to keep the groceries, to keep the exit from the grocery store flowing smoothly. But if you have 37 items, and I'm behind you with 2 cans, why are you doing this? I got some chips and salsa in my hand, and in front of me is a lady with everything from the first of the month for 4 kids she about to go home to. This is ridiculous. It's 10 items or less. So yeah, that is what I hate this week. Read, people, just read. And I also hate, this is also in the grocery store, because I'm gonna say the same thing. The self-checkout is not made for a lot of items either. It's a reason why you don't have that much space in the self-checkout. So also the self-checkout should be for essentially 10 to 15 items or less. If you're in the self-checkout and you have a lot of items and you got to put bags in the cart and put stuff on the side, and you have too many items in the self-checkout. So
go let somebody do it for you. I agree.
Yeah. So this is what I hate this week. So tell us about this episode, Angela.
Okay, so in this episode, as Marcus mentioned at the top of the episode, we're going to talk about friendships. We're going to talk about how they change, how they mature as we mature, or even fizzle out, right? Because we age, we pursue different interests, lifestyles, goals. I don't feel like people look at friendships in the same way they look at romantic relationships, but I think the ebb and flow of friendships is pretty much the same. And I think you should take stock in those in the same way that you do in romantic relationships, in friendships. So I wanted to start off with talking about how you would describe yourself as a friend. I put that in there because I remember Issa Rae being on Michelle Obama's and her brother's podcast. And the podcast episode was about friendship. And Issa made a comment on the show that I resonated with 100%. But then she ended up getting so much backlash about it because people were like, "You're not a good friend." And I was like, "Oh, let me shut the fuck up and eat my food," because I was just about to make
What was the
a
comment?
video. I was literally about to make a video like, "Oh my God, Issa, same." And then I got on the internet and people were dragging her, where essentially she was describing herself as a not an initiator friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like you may not get those everyday calls and checkups and all of that stuff from her because that's just she's just not that type of friend,
Right.
which is a fault point for her. And she's like had friends tell her like, dude, that's not cool. And she's tried to course correct from it, but like naturally she's not in it. I'm like, same, but she got
Well, because she doesn't talk
dragged.
to her friends every day.
Yeah, because she says she doesn't like she's not an so she's not gonna call and be like the checkup friend and like
Okay.
all of that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, you're a bad friend," right? But she also said in the same like video or episode that whenever her friends need anything, if she needs to stand in the gap for them, like they can count on her to do that. She just, I may not be the one initiating the phone calls. And I consider like I am exactly like that. And it's probably one of my flaws. Issa is probably a little better at it than I am. Probably one of my biggest flaws just in general. And it's not just friendships, it's all relationships. My sister say it, guys that I date say it, like just in general, where I am just not a initiator as it relates to like communication. Like I will go weeks without picking up my phone and calling anybody. But if you call me, I'm going to always answer.
Right.
I'm going to always answer. If you need me, I'm going to always be there. Um, but I've had friends say, well, I would like if you call and say, "How the hell are you?" sometimes, right? Like you call and check up on me sometimes, or whatever the case may be. I'm like, okay, right. Like
Right.
I
Right.
get that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand that, right? Where it's like if you don't call me, we don't talk. So I can understand like where that's an issue for my friends. And it's something I need to work on. I still ain't got it together. I'm still really bad at it. But other than that, I do consider myself to be that friend that if you need me, I am one call away. What my friends can't say is that they've ever called me and said, "I need you to do this," or, whatever the case may be. And I haven't been there for them unless it's some fuck shit. Because I'm also the friend that, like, don't put me in no bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The answer is no.
Right.
Like, no, 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 especially as an adult. Now, when I was young, I got a story about state one day. I might tell it on this podcast
Mm-hmm.
that would blow your muffin cap back about some crazy shit that I did with a friend.
I'm
But
sure.
like,
I'm sure it won't.
oh, I'm sure it will.
I
You
mean,
don't.
we know the crazy stories. I can only imagine.
But like I'm not an initiator. I don't reach
Yeah.
out to my friends. I, will go through things by myself. And my friends are like, "You didn't even invite us. You didn't even call and
Oh
see if
yeah, that's
anybody
not
wants to
good.
come.
Mm.
You didn't even like whatever the case may be." And I'm just like, ugh. So I'm interested in like hearing what type of friend do you think, like, how do you describe yourself as a friend?
I feel like I have gotten better as a friend as I've gotten older. Because when I was younger, I was super selfish. So, growing up with a twin brother, sometimes you have to share things. So you just naturally become selfish. Well, for me, I was just super selfish. And that kind of translated to relationships and issues I would have with individuals because I was just a selfish individual. I would lack empathy for others. But now I'm not as bad as I used to be. I talk to my close friends almost every day because we have like group chats, which makes it easier.
Hmm.
And now I also, as you throughout the years, everybody goes through challenges. People go through different things. So my empathy is much better than what it used to be. So I'm a friend you could definitely call now. I call some friends, I reach out to them because everybody's in a different path. And you have a lot of friends who are married with kids. So sometimes you have to reach out to them more than they can to you, but you also understand it. Like some friends I don't talk to in forever, but every time we link or every time we talk, we pick right back up. So, I think I'm kind of in the middle. I don't feel like I'm at a 10 where I can be as a friend right now, but I'm slowly getting there with time. But it's like small things. Like sometimes, like my brother's my best friend, but he'll try to get mad if I don't do certain things. Like, oh, I'm coming in. Can you pick me up from the airport? And sometimes I'm like, why can't you just take Uber? Why do I have to pick you up? And he gets mad at me. He's like, you're not a real friend. I'm like, why can't you? If I wasn't here and you're an adult, you would get an Uber. Because when I travel out of town and I don't have people to call, I get a Lyft or Uber. So why do I have to?
You're not picking your brother up from the airport.
I don't have to pick you up every time. Why do I have to pick you up every time? Is that a bad thing? Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. Email us.
See, that's what I mean by like, I'm the friend you like. If you call me and say, "Can you come and get me from the airport?" I'm going to say yes. I have friends that I wouldn't even. Well, she's not even my friend no more. But I had somebody where she would call me and ask me to do like completely inconvenience my day, and I
Right.
would do it. I couldn't even call and ask her to go to the airport,
So I
like
hate
drop me
being
off at the
inconvenienced
airport.
for sure.
And she'll be like, I'll call your Uber. No, bitch, I could call my own Uber. I asked you to take me to the airport.
Yeah. So I guess I understand it. I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, don't get mad at me if I can't pick you up every time from the airport.
That's fair.
That's my like. Sometimes I'm not gonna come to get you. No, like
That's fair.
no. Yeah, I can understand if you really needed it. That's different. It's a difference when someone needs you to do something and someone
They
just
want
wants
you
you
to
to
do
do something. So most of the time he just wants to do it because he doesn't want to take an Uber. Just take an Uber or a
That's true.
Lyft.
We'll say with Britt, because you know she's in Atlanta. When I fly into Atlanta, she's really happy to see me because it's usually a long time. So she's at the airport to pick me up. When it's time to go home, she's like, bitch, you getting in the Uber.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
See,
not taking you to the
so
airport.
that's balance. I understand
Yeah.
it. That's balance. I like to have balance. So that's
That's
why I tell my brother.
But
Like,
that's your brother.
yeah, exactly. Which just makes it worse. Like, cause he knows how I am. If I'm in the middle of something, he's like, "Oh, you can't come." It's a difference if you tell me ahead of time. Sometimes he'll say ahead of time. But if I'm in the middle of something and I can't do it, don't try to tell me I'm not a good friend.
That is so funny. I would love to see twins argue. Like
Oh
I've
yeah.
never seen. I would love twin boys. I've seen twin girls argue. I would love to see twin boys
Oh
go
yeah.
back.
It happens all the time. We try not to do it as much in public as we used to.
So let me ask you a question. Because you have a twin and then you also have other siblings. I come from a big family. I have two older brothers. Technically, one of them is my cousin, but I call them my brothers. So I have two older brothers and I have three sisters. So there was a lot of us in the house, right? Most people who have that many siblings or something like a twin where you have like these built-in best friends, I find that they typically didn't feel like they need to have friends or, they had a hard time making friends or their siblings had issues with the friends that they made.
Oh no.
I was the complete opposite where I had absolutely zero in common with any of my siblings. And so the first time I could get out and make friends, I went to make friends. But I have a best friend. I had to make her be my best friend because it's so many of them where it's like 14 or 15 of them. So they have like this built-in tribe. And I'm like, girl, I like you all to be your friend.
Mm,
Like, girl, you see them people every day. Like, be friends with me.
yeah.
We best friends to this day. You didn't find it like unnecessary or like difficult to make friends or be friends because you had like sort of this built-in best friend with your brother and then like
No, it was never difficult because we have totally different personalities. So some of the things that we have in common, we also have things that we don't, and we attracted different friends.
Mhm.
And that's why we have kind of a cross map of overlap of friends because I bring my friend group in and he'll bring his, and then
Okay.
we just have this large friend group. But no, we never had an issue. It was never an issue for me to make different friends because I see him every day. Just like you just said to your best friend, I see him every day. Obviously, I want to talk to other people also. So it was never an issue. And some of the friend groups that we are, like the friend group I reference about talking to every day, he's in that group chat.
Oh,
So
okay.
and then
So
some
y'all
friend
literally talking.
yeah, and some friend groups we have separate, and that's fine. And some people he met because of me, and some people I met because of him. So, you know, it goes hand in hand. But we never had an issue because of our personality. We both have strong personalities, and we're Leos, so we're natural leaders. So we always had like our own things going on, even though we're twins.
So, my problem is my sisters don't have friends. They don't have friends. They are each other's friends. My little sister has a best friend and like a
Mhm.
couple outside friends, but my older sisters, they don't got no friends,
Not
right?
even like one or
I
two people.
no,
Oh yeah,
each
see that's
other
that. No, yeah,
for real.
that's a problem.
I am a social butterfly.
Mhm.
So I have best friends from like every iteration of my life.
Right.
A big point of contention with me and my sisters for a long time is that they be like, well, you like your friends more than you like us. And you care about your friends more than you care about us. And da 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 da. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not true. I just, like you said, I'm in the house with y'all every day. I've had years with y'all. We don't like we have some things in common, but we don't have anything like here's the thing. My older sister is 46.
Hmm.
Then my sister under her is 43. And then I'm 41. We should be kicking it. Them hoes never let. Oh, I didn't mean to call y'all no hoes. They they literally would go hang out and would not hang out with me, right? But
Mhm.
I also didn't want to hang out with them because they were into stuff that I wasn't into, like boys. It took me until my freshman year of high school really to be in boys, and then it shot to the moon.
Mhm.
But like when we were young and in the projects, they used to be like running after boys and stuff like that. And I'm like, we're gonna get in
Fast,
trouble.
just fast.
Yes, I'm like, we're gonna get in trouble.
We're gonna get in trouble.
That's against the rules. So what did I do? From a very young age, I went out and made my own friends. And so a point of contention is always like, you care about your friends more than you care about us. And I'm like, no, I just have more in common with them. I love y'all. I don't have a choice.
Right.
I don't have a choice with
So
you.
right. So because of that, so how are your existing friendships now? Like as far as their
So, like I
dynamics.
mentioned, I have friends from every iteration of my life. If I'm being quite honest, my childhood friendships are the friendships that spend the least time nurturing, which I need to do better about. Like my two best friends, and people are like, you can't call them your best friends because y'all don't talk every day. I'm like, bitch, those are my best friends. Like I ain't trying to hear nothing you trying to say. It is certain things for them that I would do that I wouldn't do for my other friends. Those are
Right.
my best friends. We've been best friends since fifth grade. My best friends, Jasmine and Amber. We don't talk every day. We don't even have a group chat. We don't even group chat every day, right? Um, so those are my two best friends. We don't talk as much as we need to. And what happened is I left and went off to college and they went to college at home, right? And so they first of all, I came into their friend group. They were already best friends,
Right.
right? And I kind of came in the fifth grade and was like, "Hey, can I be like the third amigo?" It was a fourth girl, but we kicked her out the group like Destiny's Child.
Mhm.
So I came in and was like, can I be y'all friends or whatever? But they stayed home, so they were able to like mature into adulthood with each other while I went off and did something else. So like my interests became different and developed all that type of stuff. Then I have my high school best friends.
Mhm.
Those are girls I travel with. We go out of the country together, like that type of stuff. Then I have my college best friends, which I feel like I probably have the most communication with, which is like Brittany, Major Ned, like those girls. Like those are my like support system. And then I have my Chicago friends,
Right.
right? And so I feel like I have more in common with Brittany and Major Ned and my college friends because all of us are in the same space in life. We're
Right.
single, we've been married, we don't have children. We're all just like, well, they're career focused. I don't give a fuck about no career, right? But we're we're all really in the same space.
Right.
My Chicago friend group, I am the only not married, single, and or childless person. So I'm the only one that doesn't have kids,
Mhm.
that isn't married, that isn't in a relationship. And so I'm kind of like the oddball out in
What?
that relationship.
Right. So even so, the ones who aren't married and are just in relationships, that means you haven't always been an oddball, right? Because they were
Well, they
single.
have children.
Oh, they have children. Okay, I got you. Got
Yeah. So they have children, right? So I'm the only person that is single,
you. Okay.
not married, no relationship, no kids. So what I really like about that friend group is like I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, my friends had kids and they changed and that type of stuff." I don't experience that in my friend group. Now, there are certain topics where I'm in a group chat and I'm crickets because I don't have a child that I need to test to get into school. I don't know nothing about that,
Right.
right?
Right.
So in that respect, I'm like, you know.
Right.
I'll sit here and be quiet and like read the text. But as far as like them making time to hang out or, you know what I'm saying, finding sitters for their kids and,
Yeah, that's
having
the thing.
adult time and all that type of stuff, like I feel like they're really good at that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm less good at showing up for them than they are for me. And they got husband and kids and stuff. Like to go back to like my so I have really good friendships.
Hmm.
Really, really good friendships that I need to we're having this conversation. I need to do better about fostering them. But I do. I'm lucky in that way though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm the same. I feel like I have really a solid foundation of friendships. I have my college group of friends, then I have my Atlanta group of friends that I grew up with. Then I have my DC friends that I met up there too. So they're all spread out. One thing I like is that a lot of people live in different parts of the country. So, it's always fun to go visit wherever, a person is. You know what I'm saying? But overall, just learning that dynamic, especially like my core friend group. You have one person who got married or two who got married and have kids now, but they never let that affect the friendship negatively.
Mhm.
As we'll talk about in a second, how some people let dating and things affect friendship in a negative manner. We don't have that. Everybody is like, it's like a village. Like, oh, that's your child, that's our kid too. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same way, and we've been rocking for the longest. Like I have a group of my core friends. These are the Atlanta friends that some don't still live here, but some do, and we just call ourselves the overachievers. And we talk. We've been rocking for 25, 30, almost 30 years, 25 plus years.
Yes.
So it's like since high school to now.
I
So
always find it so odd. Like there are so many people, especially young people, and I'm really worried about the new generation of people that's like, "Oh, I don't have any friends. I don't have a best friend." I'm like, I have friends that I have literally been friends with since fifth grade.
yeah, yeah,
Friends,
yeah,
not associates, not somebody I knew. I'm talking about friends. I ate at their house.
yeah.
Their parents took care of me when my mom died. Like friends. You
Mm,
mean to tell me you don't have no goddamn
mhm,
friends?
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
I
That's
couldn't. I couldn't imagine it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I have, like you said, since like I have one of my closest friends now. We've known each other since second grade. Yeah, yeah. Since like that's my homeboy. Shout out Chris. Yeah, we've known him since, like I said, second grade. Since we got up to that school, and we always just kept in touch. So yeah, that just goes to show you. And sometimes I feel like it's a little different with guys than it is with
I
women.
know. I'm finding this so interesting. Like I'm locked into what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I find
You
because
don't hear me
guys.
talk about stuff like this often.
Yeah, but guys, guys don't really. It has to be something really, really crazy for a guy to hold like a grudge
Mhm.
or something like, you know what I'm saying, or don't talk to this person ever again. It has to be something really dynamic for that to happen.
Yeah.
For other than that, we have disagreements, but boom, we talk about it and we over with. It's over. I feel like women sometimes it can be one disagreement, they won't talk to a person for the next 17 years, just off of GP.
Guilty.
Yeah, they went. Yeah, so
Guilty.
it's different, and that leads us to talking about friendship breakups because
Yeah.
I had this conversation in DC one time with my friends, and one of Matthew's homegirls was like, "Yeah, I have a friend, and they got married, and we don't. It's not the same anymore. Like we don't even get to see him anymore because his wife don't rock with us, and that's like like that. Those are those issues now that cause friendships to break apart because some people don't believe in platonic friendships.
Yeah.
Uh, I do because I have platonic friends, and one of my
Mhm.
core groups is there are women in that group.
Yeah.
But some women don't believe in it, and some men don't believe in it, and they get very territorial
Yeah.
about their spouse, which I find, like I said, I feel like it's more on the women's side, but some men can be like, if it's on the man's side, I feel like a man is more insecure than anything about that.
Okay. I was gonna say,
Yeah,
how are
I
men?
don't find it often on the men's side, but on the women's side, you see it often because the
Yeah.
women don't know even if you explain the dynamic to them, they might not understand the connection you have with these other women. The other women could be married, and all that, but sometimes people don't understand the connection.
Yeah, and then some women have this weird thing where, like, as soon as they get married, everything that was before the day you say I do, like the flip, like it switches,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Where like
yeah, yeah.
you can't do this thing anymore. I can't say this. I had a girl, and let me tell you, I had a homegirl. She wasn't my homegirl. She was my friend.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved to Chicago, one of my oldest high school best friends lives here, so I adopted her friend group.
Mm-hmm.
One of the friends in her friend group, immediately when I met her, I said, I don't like her. I was like, she's very male centered and I don't like her. So essentially, what it is she was like, very like, I'm going to get married. She was intentional about getting married. Like, that
Mm-hmm.
was her goal, right? So she did a lot of dating and all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Flag on the play for me, because baby, I'm trying to have a girls. Now I don't give a damn about these men up in here. Everything had to be about like, are men gonna be there and that type of stuff. I'm like, I don't get down like that. Anyway,
Right.
she gets married. And then, before she got married and her and the dude was dating, they would have like parties and stuff like that. I would be invited and that type of stuff. She get married, she have a party. Me and my other homegirl that ain't got no kids, all of a sudden we off for the invite list. So I said, the fuck I do?
Yeah.
What? Why I can't go to the party? She
Right.
gonna say, well, now that I'm married, I just think that it's better for me to hang. So, like, half of the friend group is married, half of us wasn't married. So, the two friends in the friend group outside of her that was married now, so three of them married, two of us not. The two of us that's not married, she said we couldn't come. The three of them that was married, all of them could come because now that she's married, she feels like she needs to hang around with more married people,
That's
and
lame as hell.
also
That's
she
lame as
doesn't
hell.
want to have single friends, single people around her married friend's husband.
That makes
Said
no sense. That's the
you.
lamest. That's
I
the,
said, but women do stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like women do stuff like that. Literally,
Because what difference does it make? How does that change anything?
I
Uh,
literally was just at a party with this girl and all of her and your friends and their husbands the week before. But now that you married, I'm all of a
right.
sudden.
That doesn't make any sense.
So yeah, that's the type of stuff that happens in female. I don't know what the hell happened to women when they get. Not all women,
Mm.
not all women, because my married homegirls ain't like that. But
Yeah.
like some women,
Yeah.
it's just like, what the fuck is that about?
Yeah. So that's considered? Will you consider that a friendship breakup?
I wouldn't consider it a friendship breakup because she wasn't my friend anyway. She was a friend by proxy.
So she's an associate.
She was in the so she was a friend of a friend. Now
Okay.
I have had a friend breakup, and it was the first one of my entire life. Now I've had disagreement with my friends, and when you said women will get into it and won't talk for years, yeah, I've done that. Where like I've had somebody that was like my best friend,
Mhm.
and we had a disagreement, and we didn't talk for over a decade. And then one day, dead ass. One day, she sent me a message on Instagram and we started back talking. And then we linked up in DC last year and
Yeah.
talked that shit out. Like,
Yeah.
it is, but we were truly friends. Now, I just had my recent, what I consider a real friendship breakup,
Yeah.
but I should have never been her friend anyway. And that's why I said in the beginning, like, I personally approach friendships like relationships.
Yeah.
Like if we don't have anything in common, like if you're not my type of bitch, I don't have no reason. Like I shouldn't be being your friend
Right.
because if I overlook things about you that I don't like, it's going to come out in the wash at the end. And that's what happened with me and that girl, where it's
Yeah.
just like I knew I didn't like her when I met her because it was just some ways that she moved that
Yeah.
I didn't like. But I just was like, Angel, stop being so judgmental, da, 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 da. And that shit ended up coming out in the wash at the end of the friendship.
Yeah. Uh,
So
yeah. I understand. I never really had a friendship breakup as a male, but I did have like one of my closest friends. He had a friend that he was close with that we all used to kick it all the time, and they stopped messing with each other. They fell out. I forgot the reason. It was not important, but so because he stopped talking to him, because my closest friend stopped talking to him, I don't talk to him anymore either, and that's just one of those things. Because he just, it's one of those things you just can't come back from, and there's no point, what I'm saying, of us talking about anything. So, I'm loyal to my, one of my best friends, and that's just what it is.
men are so cute. Y'all issues are so passe. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they just stopped talking.
Well, they had a big issue. I just don't. It's not important for they had
Yeah,
an
I mean,
issue.
I don't need the details,
Yeah,
but like, you know what I mean.
yeah. But no, yeah. So it was like, sometimes when you just, when you a constant friend somebody and they don't appreciate it, then this is one of those things. You have to
Yeah,
cut it.
that's
You have to cut that.
one of my like what is like a big point of like continue like a big issue in friendship, like something that will make you like back up from somebody like, oh, I can't fuck with this dude no more.
Oh,
Or
it's
girl,
just like
because you have
behavior. Sometimes people have self-destructive behavior. It
yeah.
could be anything. It could be alcoholism. It could be, just out and about, always doing something, always getting, something. It can be anything. And when you see someone who you try to help and they don't receive that, and it's just gonna you constantly got to worry about things when y'all go out and stuff like that. That's not somebody you want to be around.
Yeah.
Um,
That's definitely one of mine. That's one of my something else is I'm a very matter of fact person. I don't know if that comes across in
yeah,
the
for sure. I'm
podcast.
the same
But
way.
I'm a very like matter of fact person, right?
Mhm,
So one of the things I don't like unsolicited advice.
mhm.
If I want your advice, I'm going to say, "Hey Marcus, let me get your advice."
Right.
Otherwise, keep your fucking thoughts to yourself. Thank you. Thank you. So
So even in
if
your
we're having
friendships,
if huh
even in your friendships, you don't like
even in
us.
my friendship.
Okay.
So if we having a conversation and you start giving me your opinion, I'm gonna say, did I ask you your opinion? If you're offended by something like that, you can't be my friend because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't ask you your opinion.
yeah, yeah,
We having a conversation.
yeah.
If me and you talking and you're talking about something and I'm unsure about whether you're asking me my opinion, I'm saying, are you asking me my opinion or are you just telling me so I can listen? And if you say you ask me my opinion, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think. If you say, "Oh, I'm just venting," I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna be quiet,
Oh yeah,
right?
my brother's the king of unsolicited advice.
I hate it.
I'm like, bro, I did not ask you that. Why are you telling me
I didn't ask
that?
you.
Yeah.
So like that's a big point of because like I said, also I don't like people that can't have difficult conversations, right?
Okay.
Because I'm a person that's kind of outspoken and a little bit of matter of fact, sometimes my intent, like the impact of what I say, may not be my intention. I don't have an issue with somebody saying, I don't like how you said that, or I don't like how that made me feel, or this is what I heard you say. But I expect that if I say something and it didn't land with you right, that you say it didn't land with you right,
Right.
right?
Right.
If you go away from the conversation mad at me and I didn't know that I did anything wrong, and then you start switching up on me, not answering my phone calls or like our routine change, I'm going Houdini. I'm going to get the like you
Yeah.
going to look up and you're never
Ghost.
going to talk to me
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's the main. Yeah, that's the main difference. And that's why I say with men, like I just said, my brother loves giving unsolicited advice, but I'll just tell him, shut the hell up. All right, that's it. And then we back rocking. It doesn't matter. Like I don't care. And then we back rocking. So that is the difference with men and women. Also, like
Yeah.
another thing is, like I have a DC friend group, and we have one friend that he just started. I think we all think it's because of his wife, right? And we just talked about this. And I think it's because of his wife that the way he moves and how he hangs out, and he doesn't say, like when we ask him stuff months in advance, like trying to plan something, it's always him who has an issue, and we think it's because of his wife. And that just changes the dynamic because now like we don't want to invite you places. Like what?
Yeah.
Like bro, I don't even live, I'm back and forth between DC and Atlanta. Like, so every time we get a chance, and y'all are married with children. So I give you a heads up for a reason. So if everybody else can do it, but it's always a constant problem with you, then it's like, okay, we're just gonna stop inviting you because you're not even giving us a real reason. You're just saying, oh, I can't make it. Oh, this, like what is it? Like, what's the reason? And I'm not about to chase you down. So that's one of the things that people fall out as far as
Absolutely.
and
I'm
especially when the
kind of
spouse.
going through something like that right now, where
Yeah.
it's like I done been here 3 times, invited you out 3 times. You just
Right.
said no 3 times. Now the narrative is, yeah, I'm a little finicky. I don't be reaching out. I said that at the beginning of the thing. I'm not a good at initiating.
Right.
But when I'm in the city, I'm trying to hook up, and I can't get a touch to you. Now the word on the street is I'm
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in
But
the wing.
I just handle it. I just be like, okay, cool. Like I'm not gonna keep doing it. Like if you want to reach out, then you can reach out. And that's the thing. Like he'll do it on his time, like randomly. Like and you're like, dog, what why are you responding now and then you respond to the chat where everybody else is in it and now you wanna
Exactly.
do
You
it.
free now. You wanna
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's
no.
strange. So it's just strange. So just I don't, what I'm saying? I give people grace, but at the same time, I'm not gonna try to chase you down and try to hang out and do all that. It's not that no, I won't do that.
Do you feel like as you get older, like you have like a lower tolerance for like bullshit? Like I think that's like in friendships now, relationships in general,
Hmm.
but we're talking about friendships. I just have a lower, like, I don't, my tolerance is like this low.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't look. Yeah, it's always been that way. So as I get older and it's like more stuck in my ways, it's only gonna get worse. So like the
yeah,
moment I peep it, it's like you know what I'm saying. But luckily, I haven't had
yeah.
to come across. I haven't had to experience any of that. So you know that's I've been lucky on that front because, like I said, I have a solid foundation when it comes to friends. So I'm blessed. So I can't explain. I mean, I can't
I just
complain.
had that one, and I
Mhm.
was like, oh, I don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah.
And there's a bit like it takes a lot for somebody to put like going back to that conversation we were having about cheating. I thought about that after we wrapped up the fucking episode. I was like, damn, I should have said this, right?
Mhm.
Where like a part of the conversation around cheating was like people were talking about how people will stop being friends with people for cheating on their significant others
Oh
and
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was saying, like, I don't think I would stop being friends. Now, if it's a habitual situation,
Oh yeah.
right? Where
And they try to
you
drag you into it is another thing.
exactly you try to drag me into it, or if it's like a habitual situation, or something like that, where now I'm calling in to question your character and
Mhm.
like all of that type of stuff, like then yeah, but like other than that, that's your fucking business.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this: if you get caught, don't use me as no scape
Yeah.
because I'm
Leave
not
me
gonna
out
lie
of it.
for you. I'm not about to lie for you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like it takes a lot for me to be like, I don't want to be your friend no more.
Yeah. That's why I
Even
always
as a 41-year-old.
yeah. And I've always been like that. I feel like if people don't get along with me, this is some Leo
It's
shit, but
them.
yeah, if people don't get along with me, it cannot be me. Like like I'm too nice. It's no way. Like it's no way. So it has to be you or something that is subtly or subconsciously that fucks with you, but it can't be me. Like it cannot be
Can't
me.
be.
No, no.
I agree. See, we the same.
Yeah.
You a Leo, I'm a Pisces, but ditto.
So
But
when it
that's a
comes,
good segue into talking about like new friendships,
yeah,
though, right?
yeah.
Because I feel like even with old friendships, I am constantly, me and my oldest friends don't all have the same thing like in common. So I'm
No,
constantly in search of people that share common interests and things like that. So I'm not leaning on my core friend groups to be everything that they need, everything that I need out of like a relationship,
right,
right? It's
right,
kind of the same concept of like when you're in a romantic relationship, you need to have your own hobbies, your own interests, your own things, so that you're not trying to make your significant other be like everything to
right.
you,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So I personally am open to new friendships. Like I am constantly like going out, having drinks with people. I think I'd have been on like 4 or 5 different like friend dates in the last couple months.
Oh,
Just
all right.
meeting
And
new
these are new
people.
friends.
Like these are like new people. Maybe we like connected online or whatever.
Oh,
And I'm
that's
like,
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm in New York. We talk every day online. Like I'm in New York. Let's hook up. Let's have some drinks. Let's see if this actually translates
To a vibe.
out. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? To something else, right? You never know who you're sitting across from. And I find that people are not as open to like the older people get, they're less open. They're,
Oh
the
yeah,
whole
of
no
course.
friends of it, right? But they're less open to like meeting new people. And I'm like, why is that?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not opposed to meeting new people. I'm a people person. I like to call myself a extroverted introvert. So,
Mhm.
but like if I'm out and like, especially when you travel for work and stuff, sometimes you're out at a bar or something, or you just out, you just meet people in general. Like I have a conversation. So am I being friends with all the people? No, but I say that to say I would never be closed off to it because you never know. Well, it doesn't matter how old you are. You never know how someone can come into your life for a particular reason,
Yeah.
and you know it could be any reason, and you block that just because you feel like you're stubborn and you don't want to meet new people. But I feel like a lot of times people who are like that they don't put themselves in positions to meet new people anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to each his own. But I don't mind meeting new people. It doesn't matter how old I am. You know, I can meet people,
Mm.
and if I think you're cool and we rock, yeah, we can be cool. Like it's nothing wrong with it.
I was gonna say, like a lot of conversation. People ask me all the time, like, how do you meet friends as an adult? Because I make content, so I'm like, oh, I have a friend day. I'm going da 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 or whatever, or a potential friend day,
Hmm.
right? gotta watch them friend words. But these are people that I am getting to
To know,
know,
right?
right? They're right now they're associates. They may be friends. I'm open to that or whatever. And people are like, it's so hard as an adult to make friends, and I don't understand why it's so hard, and da 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 da. And I'm like, it's likely because we're older, we're set in our ways, we're particular about certain things. So
And
just like with romantic relationships, you have to put yourself out there.
exactly, like
They ain't gonna
people,
new friends ain't finna knock on your door.
right? People are just naturally reluctant, and a little bit afraid. And you have
Yeah,
to just come out of your shell if you want to meet new people. That's just how it is, because you never know what the other person is thinking. You can go through different experiences. Some of them are going to be good. Some of them are won't be good. But you have to put yourself out there if you want to meet friends. Like, and I'm speaking to those who are complaining or not complaining. I'm speaking to those who are asking, how can I become
yeah,
friends? You can become friends by allowing yourself to be in that position. Because if you create these obstacles that are not even there in the first place, you're gonna trip yourself up every time.
yeah.
Just go with the flow. Just be yourself,
Yeah.
go with the flow, and open yourself up to new outlets and experiences, because you can meet new people that will introduce you to a way of life that you never even thought about.
Exactly.
And that can come in many different ways. So, you want to just be open, and have that attitude of optimism. I feel like that's the best way to do it.
Because the relationships are relationships are relationships. You meet new friends the same way that you meet a lover.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
that word, a lover.
yeah. And you should be more cautious with dating as opposed to just
But people aren't.
friendships. Yeah,
People are. I'm like, that is so
yeah,
crazy. You do a lot of stuff with us dating that you
yeah,
don't do with friendships. That you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So
So I just always, I find that conversation odd. So you said you were a introverted
mhm.
extrovert. What does that look like in a social setting? So you're in a like maybe you're like at a
that's
place
yeah.
with a friend.
Mhm.
Like
So
how does that
as my friends will tell you, it's like turn up Marcus will come out. Like you'll just like if we're at the right place, it's gonna happen.
the
It's bound to
atmosphere is
happen. Yeah, it's
right?
bound to happen. Yeah, it's bound to happen. Now, if someone tells me, "Oh, we want to go to this big concert," and I know we're gonna be standing shoulder to shoulder, people, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I need to either have a suite or I need to be sitting off to the side. But if I'm placed in an atmosphere like a party or
Mhm.
a bar or something, and we're having good time, laughing, then I'm gonna be instrumental in that good time because that's just my
In
personality.
facilitating that
Yeah,
good
yeah,
time. I love that.
yeah.
I'm an extrovert,
Mm,
period,
okay.
right? But I'm very perceptive. So I need to scan the room, make sure it's a safe environment.
Hmm.
And then, it's on from that. If you're ever in a room with me and I am quiet,
Hmm. Oh,
the
the vibe,
vibes ain't
yeah.
right. Because
I'm
Angela
the
ain't
same
quiet
way. Yeah, yeah. If I'm too
at all.
quiet, you'll know right away. This is not popping. So,
Exactly.
so people, we just want to let you know that friendships can change throughout time, and there's nothing wrong with that. But be open to meeting new people, but also the friendships that you have, you should cherish, nurture, and
Give
uh,
each other grace.
yeah, give each other grace because it's just like watering a plant. You have to nurture your friendships in order for them to keep growing, and that's what you need to do. I couldn't imagine my life without my friend group. I'm truly blessed to have them. I love them. So you want to nurture your friend groups, people, and if you can take one piece of advice and write this down, that's what you want to write down. Is just
Ditto.
nurture your friend group for sure. But
Yes. Okay.
take us
So
out
if
of
you
here.
have any comments or questions or feedback on today's topics, friendships are a hot button topic. So I know y'all should be having something to say. If you have suggestions for future episodes, let us know in the comments wherever you listen or on YouTube if you watch the episodes. Also, you want to make sure that you rate the show on Apple and Spotify because that's how the algorithm picks us up. You also can email us your comments or show suggestions, or if you have like questions that you want our feedback on, you can email us at writethisdownpod@gmail.com. And then also make sure you're following us and keeping up with us on social media. We are on Instagram at underscore write this down pod underscore. And then we're on TikTok at write this down pod.
Got
You
it.
want to
I
take a
appreciate it. What did we do? My producer did. What did he do?
I wanted to ask a question about friendship real quick
Yeah,
before.
Okay.
yeah. Go ahead.
It was the question was, my question was, has somebody ever tried to become your friend, like you didn't want to be their friend? Like have you ever shut down somebody from trying to be your friend. Like,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, for sure.
Nah.
Yeah.
I had a situation where somebody was like, we was at the grocery store and like we just happened to be there and they told the counter, oh yeah, this is my best friend. I'm like,
Just make
so I
sure.
was just asking that question, like, have you ever had to?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the question.
Yeah, I've definitely sometimes.
Repeat it because they probably can't hear me.
Yeah. So my producer just asked, "Have you ever had to turn down a friendship?" And my answer, and then I'll let you go, Ange. Yes, I have, because sometimes you just get weird vibes. If I get, I'm big on energy. So if I feel like it's strange or it's like ulterior motives involved, then I'm quick to nip it in the bud. Like no. So I've had that happen for sure, and that just goes to not responding. Or steering conversations in a different direction, and then just kind of cutting it off because I don't have the time. Like it's, once I get the vibe, I'm a cease. I'm gonna make sure it's all that ceases. What about you?
And for me, it's always like the situation I talked about earlier, where when I moved to Chicago and I met my friend's friend group, and that one girl, I was like, oh no, she's not my cup of tea. I just didn't like how she moved. I didn't like her thought processes. I didn't like the type of friends that she was to the people already in the group. And I said, oh, she ain't my type. So I tolerated her in the group, but I wasn't hitting her on the buzz.
Yeah.
Saying, girl, what's up with you? What you got going
On the
on?
buzz,
So
yeah.
like, same as you. Like if
Yeah.
same with dating. We
Yeah.
don't have nothing in common. We don't have nothing to talk about. I don't like how you move.
And that's okay. Not everyone, you cannot please everyone, and everyone is not always going to be your cup of tea, and we move on. Everybody's different. That's what it's about. So I appreciate that question, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. And we are out of here, people. We will see you next time, man. Write this down.